can tell. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, adrift in a world of my own. I play the game, but to my real shame, you've left me to dream all alone. Too real is this feeling of make-believe. Too real when I feel what my heart can't conceal. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, just laughing and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not. You see, I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still around.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and today we're going to be doing a little retro blast. Take a break in between the comic reviews that we've been doing as of late here on the channel, and today's retro blast will be A Bronx Tale. Now, I know I did a short on this movie sometime back. It's been a while, but I think I wanted to get into a full review of this because for a lot of time over the years since I've seen this movie, I've had to see this movie probably like 10 times in my life, at least that many times, okay? And it's really a movie that helps you understand both sides of life sometimes without necessarily having to go live through it. You can kind of see where each side is coming from, and it depends on where you lie in the middle of it, right? Like our main character here, C, okay? But before I get into the story, this was actually directed by Robert De Niro, this movie, okay? It came out September 14th, 1993. To keep it within our Retro Blast review scenario, right? 10 movies, 10 years plus type of thing. Of course, this was written by Chaz Palminteri, the guy who plays Sonny in this movie. And actually, this movie came from a one-man play that was put on by Chaz Palminteri. Not many people, maybe more people are realizing now as this movie has gained an audience, right, so to speak. This movie is based off of Chaz's life. Calogero'S, right, was Chaz as a youth, okay, and he had witnessed a shooting done by a mafia dude, and he kept his mouth shut. And over time, this fella, this gangster, took Chaz under his wing and taught him things that he felt like he would need to know in his life, right, as from a young boy all the way up to a young man. A lot of this took place in Belmont, West Bronx, aka Little Italy, right, during the 1960s, this movie. And the alleged, right, because Chaz never really confirmed who was the inspiration. Outside of himself, right, he never reported who was the gangster that led him on this path of life, right? You know, this mentor. But many believe that the mentor was someone by the name of Giovanni Big John Armanto. He was the inspiration for Sonny. And C was himself, okay, Chaz, as a child. And it didn't necessarily happen the way it did in the movie. Chaz was looking out his window and he saw this murder occur. That he never told the police who it was that he just said, I didn't know who did it, you know? And that led to this relationship that was inspiration for this eventual one-man show that eventually led into a movie. And how it led from a one-man show was that Chaz knew that he had $1 million offer for this, but knew it was not going to be portrayed the way he wanted it to be portrayed. So he took the show on his own and did a one-man show. All the parts were played by Chaz, which, amazing in my opinion, okay? That just goes to show you the amazing path this movie took, this story, this Bronx tale, if you will, and presented it to the world. And man, I'll tell you, for those who like these type of movies, this movie always comes up as one of the tops, okay? Along with Goodfellas, Godfather, right? These type of movies, this movie is always brought up as a movie that, even if you disagree with the gangster lifestyle, there's portions in this that show you the opposite of what Sonny's trying to teach C in this movie, right? Because the father of C is played by Robert De Niro. He's pulling double duty in this movie as director and as C's father, who's a bus driver. Now, I'm unsure if Chaz's father was a bus driver or not, but he's always said, at the end of the day, he's always appreciative of his dad and what his dad was doing to give him a better life. Chaz's father was in his life, but the allure, the view of looking at these big time guys, right, looking cool and slick in their suits and their hair all nice and done, and carrying hundreds of dollars of hundreds with you. And they look at $1 like, how'd that get in the pile, right? They live in the life, but little does C know that there's a price that comes with this life. It may seem like these guys are hanging out with their friends and bullshitting around, BSing around, right? Having a good time. But what did they have to do to get there? And what are they doing to stay there on there? And little C isn't realizing this offhand. He just sees a bunch of cool dudes with attitudes, right? So this, again, was written by Chaz Palminteri based off of a play he did. Chaz Palminteri does play Sonny. Robert De Niro plays Lorenzo. Leo Brancata plays Calogero'S. I know I'm probably mispronouncing that C. And Francis Capra plays Little C, Little Calogero'S. Joe Pesci's in this movie as Carmine for a couple minutes here and there. Now, how this movie starts is it's C and his friends always playing around and messing around in the neighborhood. One of the games they like to play is they'll try to imitate someone from town and see if the friends can guess who they're trying to be. And this is how we learn of some of Sonny's crew, right? And Sonny himself. Sonny sometimes will talk like this, for some, that's just his thing. And, so the game of Guess Who I Am, C is, doing the motion, and they're like, oh, that's easy, that's Sonny, or whatever, like that. And they're living the life that kids should be living. They're playing, they're being, little scamps, if you will, okay? Not doing too much harm in the neighborhood. And until one day, C was sitting out on the porch, okay, his porch there, the steps to his apartment building, so to speak. And we see Joe Pesci's character here, Carmine, get into a verbal argument over what appears to be a parking space. Okay? And then Sonny comes and he blasts the guy that Carmine is arguing with. They get Carmine out of there, but Sonny sees little C there. He knows that C's seen everything. And this is where the movie really begins. Because when the cops come and there's a sniffing of a possible witness, they go to C's parents' house, and his parents know, even though his parents are upstanding citizens, they understand what's at stake if their son points Sonny out. Alright? So they line up all the gangsters that are there, the cops, right, the detectives, and they're bringing a little seat to each one. Is this the guy? Is this the guy? Is this the guy? Until finally, the last person, Sonny. And Sonny's just looking down on him, almost probably hoping, like, I hope you have brains to come up with the right answer for you and your family, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. And so, is this the guy? And Sonny, C is just like, no, officer, I didn't really get to, see who did it or whatever. And the cops take that as, and Robert De Niro's character, right, Lorenzo is like, if he doesn't know, he doesn't know, whatever, you know what I mean? Like let's go. So that made Sonny take C under his wing, okay? And he let C start working at the bar there that they owned by, bringing drinks to the fellas and stuff like that. And it was very, innocent work to the degree, just kind of looking out for the kid, right? Trying to give him some work, But, But what C isn't realizing is the work that has to come with this, right? All he's seeing is the fun that these guys are having, and the $100 bills and the betting and stuff like that. Like, there's this one scene that's a pretty infamous scene in the movie, if you're familiar with it, where they're shooting craps down in the basement, and Sonny's very when you're a gambler, you have certain superstitions or feelings or icks and stuff like that, so to speak. And so there's this one character in this movie that they actually went to, the character that inspired this was a real character, and no one can play him, so they had to get the real guy to go there and perform his own role, which is a very bad luck, jinxy fella. He never wins any bets, never wins, not even a $5 bill on anything, okay? And so they have this guy taking a shot at shooting the dice. He loses, and so he's like, get in the back, he's done now. Because then he tries to bet again, and he's like, I don't want your jinxy money near my money. Well, you know what, get in the bathroom, right? So he puts this dude in the bathroom that's down there, this little dingy basement bathroom area, all right? And so then there's this other guy that Sonny felt like he was breathing on him too much, because he's a big dude. His nickname was the Whale or something like that. And so he puts him in the bathroom. And then, that's another thing, that these guys all have these nicknames, right? And so the last guy, because he's gonna have little C throw the dice, and just kind of for sharing giggles, if you will. And the one guy, Drake, because he looks like a Drake's coffee cake, or because he's got pock marks all over his face. And he's like, yeah, put this thing on your face so you can, without being distracted by your face. And he's like, oh, come on, son. He's like, you know what? in the bathroom. So he sends 3 guys in the bathroom. One of them is like 300, 400 pounds, all right? He's like my size. Well, not 400. I'm like more 300, but, and Lil C goes on this like 11 roll, lucky roll type of stuff. And you hear in the background, you hear in the commentary, the narration of, I don't know how much money Sonny won that day, but sure did he clean up, right? So, and that's kind of like when it was really like starting to get too much, because then the father and the mother, well, the mother found a bunch of money in C's dresser drawer. She asked the father, and he asked, "See, where'd you get this money? Where are you getting this money, bro?" Because he's carrying more money on him than the father does. Oh, makes driving a bus, all right? And so C's dad is very much talking about trying to do the right thing every time, even when you don't win. That life isn't about always making yourself win. You have to lose sometimes to understand what the lesson is, right? It's easy to live life on easy mode, right? When everyone is afraid of you, you got more money than Carter's got pills, right? Type of thing. And there's no real growth there. Where when you struggle, you do tend to grow a little bit more. You harden up a little bit. You straighten up a little bit. And C's father is very much about doing the right thing, even when it's not in your best interest. And I tell you, it's an interesting quandary to consider in this life, right? Because at one point in this movie, Sonny and C talk about how Sonny lives with instilling fear around him. And he admits that he's a very closed-off individual because of that. You don't have anyone really close to him. No wife, no girlfriend that could be used against him. And he pays these guys enough, he says, but just enough to not feel like they got to go anywhere else, not to feel like they got to overtake me, but still leaving me in charge. And that's a very fine line to walk sometimes in this type of life, he says. So, Sonny may have all the possessions of the world at his fingertip, at his disposal, but what he's looking for seems to be a little bit more than that, and he'll never be able to achieve that at that time in his life because he chose to go live the way he's living now. And as a man myself that's nearly 50, sometimes I wonder how my life would have turned out if I lived like that. If I lived just for myself, right? And not for my brother and sister who I helped raise. If I wasn't around for my son Noah, you know, who isn't biologically mine, but I raised him from very early childhood. He's nearly 18 in a couple months. So I raised him nearly his whole childhood, you know, and that's where I felt my purpose was, to help these other people who are younger than me while I'm in a position to help them to make their lives better, okay? Now, I may have forgot to make my life better in the process along with them, but that's a story for another time. What I'm saying is, there's something to passing on your life lessons to the next generation of people, to give them that knowledge as early as you can, so that they can take their time and concentrate on the life, positive life, that you want them to live. Whatever it is, whether it's a doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, if they're looking to progress their life, that's what you want for your children, right? As opposed to Sonny, who's more worried about his own progression and is scared about anyone who may take that away from him. as tough as Sonny is, he's also a scared person. Because how can you not be scared, even though you're well at hiding it? Because I'll explain in a little bit what happens here. So, getting back to like the dice game and C working for Sonny, and the father finding out, he gave the money back. And Sonny and the father, Lorenzo, always had a tough go at each other. Because if it wasn't for Lorenzo being C's father, Sonny would have taken care of him a long time ago with how he was talking to C, to Sonny. But he understands why his father is the way he is, and actually probably appreciates a bit, in my opinion. It never was said, but he's probably happy that C has a father like that, right? Because chances are he may not have had a father like that to kind of guide him on the right path. And that's why he's on the path he is now, right? So, as time goes through and time goes on, C and his friends become teenagers. They're in high school, last year to a high school, and you can tell very much where his friend's mind is at and where his mind is at, because he is going to take the street lessons taught to him by Sonny, and then take the lessons taught to him by his father Lorenzo and school, and combine those. And so he'll have street smarts and book smarts at his disposal. But his friends seem to be very much on just the street side of things, just being little gangsters and not improving their life in any sort of way. Now, throughout that part of the movie, we see that his friends, because this is a time where black people weren't looked upon very well. It was very open discrimination against black people in this country, and partially still today probably in certain parts of this country will black people be called the word and these type of things, right? Be attacked because they're black and not because of the content of their character. Are they trying to hurt somebody? If they're not trying to bother anybody, why are you bothering them, right? So it feels like C is on just another level of thinking during that point for such a young man. And he winds up finding this girl that he's very attracted to, but his concerns are that he'll be made fun of because she's black. And Sonny, he was asking Sonny for his advice, and he was like, if they really friends, they're not going to care she's black. You know what I mean? Who cares? At the end of the day, she treats you well, you treat her well. Bada boom, bada bing, you know what I mean? And he was like, stop listening to these guys, see? These guys are nothing but problems. They're going to lead you down a dark path. And so he winds up, going on a date with her, or attempting to go on a date with her. Also during this time, with the constant race relations emerging, so to speak, there's this big fist fight between his friends and these black kids that would drive through town on the bus to get home. And C didn't touch anybody or fight anybody, but it happened to be that one of the kids was the guy that he was just holding there was the brother of the girl he was taking out. And so when he went to go get her, she had her brother out there with her and was asking C, what's going on? Are you like beating up black kids because, like with your friends and stuff? Like, what are you doing? And he was trying to explain, like, no, I was there, but I wasn't hitting him or whatever like that. And he said something, and I'm forgetting now if it was the N-word or not, but he was like, I didn't do anything to you, and whatever the word he was, and they both, the girl he like, and the brother was like, see. And so he goes off, right? As he goes off, okay, the date is a disaster. This was like the worst night of C's life up until this point. And as he's all like bent out of shape or whatever like that, because Sonny allowed him to borrow his car, for the date. And so when C dropped the car off, Sonny or somebody knows there was a car bomb attached to the bottom of the car. So they stopped C. Sonny's like, "What are you doing? You trying to kill me?" And this and that, and getting nuts on C, until he finally believes C didn't plant that car bomb. And C was like, "Did you ever consider that it would have went off when I was in the car? Or did you think everyone's after you all the time?" And this is when the conversation is like, in a way I live a sad life, because I have to live myself closed off to everyone. And he was like, "I'm sorry I did that to you, but at the same time I'm not, because I never know who's really out there to get me." And he was like, "But still, Sonny, what would I gain out of it? It's still not explaining how, you basically helped raise me from a kid, and you think that this is what I would do to you?" And it was a real eye-opener for C, you know what I mean? Because this was the first time, he knew what Sonny would do, but this was the first time where he was like, oh, he's willing to hurt anybody, even me, right? And so once he was confronted about that, C took off and found his buddies, and he got in the car with his buddies, and they were gonna go with Molotov cocktails and grenades and stuff and blow up the spot that the black kids would hang out at, or whatever like that. And as they were going there, you hear C narrating, and he's like, "What do? I can't just ask the guys to stop and let me out, because then I don't want to be no punk. I'm hearing my dad's voice in my head. I'm hearing Sonny's voice in my head. I don't know what to do," and the tension is building, because they're going to kill people. They're off to try to kill people. And all of a sudden the car stops, and then you see Sonny getting around, telling C, "Get out now, get out now." And the guys are like, "Oh, I'll leave it." And he's like, "Shut the hell up. C, out of the car now." And he gets him out of the car, and the other friends go on their way. As the friends go there to attack the black kids, right? They're able to get some Molotov cocktails off at the hangout where the black kids would hang out, but one threw one of them back into the car that they were all in, and all of them died. Sonny saved C that night, and that might have added more context to C's outlook on everything, right? Not only did he kind of fully see Sonny for who he is, he escaped with his life, and then as later on they're hanging out, he does get to C gets to see the girl again. The brother apologizes for lying, because he did finally admit to the girl, and in front of C, all he was doing was telling me to stay there. He didn't hit me. He wasn't trying to hit me. He was just trying to protect me from his friends. And so the girl and him finally, and she passes the test. Sonny gives him a test, and the test is, you go lock the doors, right? You go get her, you bring her out, you unlock the door, you put her in the passenger side, and as you're going around the back of the car, if she's not unlocking the car for you in any sort of way, dump her right there, because that's just the tip of the iceberg, And C's like, what? Really? Right there? He's like, right there. I'm telling you. So always put the girl through the Sunny test, all right? Not the Mario test, the Sunny test, okay? And so they have themselves a good little time. And then as C goes to the bar where Sunny is at to tell him like how things went, Sunny gets shot and is murdered in front of C, in front of everyone at the bar that's there, and that's nearly how the movie ends. He sees his mentor, or one of his mentors, die in front of him, and at the funeral, as everyone's wrapping up, we see Joe Pesci show up. Okay, of course. So C turns around, he's like, you're that guy. He's like, you're that guy that day. He's like, I am that guy that day. And he's like, and all this time, C thought it was over a parking spot. And C turns around, because at one point he asked Sonny what it was about. Was it over a parking spot? And Sonny's like, no, you'll understand when you get older. But never tells him. And so when C turns around to Carmine, he's like, did you kill that man over a parking spot? Just out of like curiosity? He's like, no, I didn't. We never find out why Carmine did what he did, but it certainly has a lot to do more with parking than a parking space, I'll tell you that. And so that's kind of how the movie ends. There's one last narration about how life is and what he has to face in his life now. But who am I to say anything? This is just another Bronx tale. And you hear like the 60s doo-wop music playing in the back and stuff. And that's how the movie ends. At the end of the day, Sonny may have made people live in fear of him, but there was a part of him that loved. And Lorenzo, the father, was more about love, but there was a part of him that wanted to. Lorenzo and Sonny are two sides of the same coin, okay? And C's job is to try to find somewhere in the middle for his own life, right? Where do these lessons begin and end for C? Now he's going to probably remember some lessons from Sonny and some from his father, and combine those into a solution for himself. And this movie, before I wrap up, there's so many other parts in this movie that are funny, that are really thought-provoking and deep, okay? And this is a tale from life, from real life, okay? Sometimes we hope that we can live a good life and be a great citizen in this world and be there for everyone. But sometimes we forget that we have to be there for ourselves and for our own needs and wants in order to be able to help anybody else. Now, was Sonny right in his approach to life? Or was the father Lorenzo right in his approach to life? I know what some people would say, and I know what I would say, but what do you say? I feel like there's times that you need to be vicious and calculating and selfish in this life, for sure, because there's going to be times that no one else is going to do it for you, except for yourself. But there are people out there are going to be good people out there that want to help you and want to help guide you. And I think you should at least take their words into consideration, accept people's help when they're willing to help you, and maybe everyone will learn something somewhere in the middle that's lingering there with everyday life. there's days I wake up and I am a top-notch citizen, I'll tell you that. But there's days I've woke up and went to bed and I did things I had to do to survive. I had to do things to make money to survive for my family, right? To feed the people I love. Because when it comes to the people I love, I'm willing to do anything. Anything. And some people may not be willing to do that. That's okay for them. But what I'm saying is, watch this movie and decide for yourself where you find the line that you would cross. That's my thoughts about A Bronx Tale. I highly recommend watching this movie, this film, if you will, because I think every movie's a movie, but some are films and some are just movies. And this is a film. And I hope that if you have yet to watch it, watch it. If you haven't watched it in a while, why don't you pop it on and remember the good old days, right? But that is what I have for you today. And I hope that you found this information, this movie, fun to learn about and fun to watch. If you have yet to watch it, I really suggest watching it. I've run off enough about this movie, so until next time, peace.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life.
That's life.
And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
That's life. And I can't deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, but my heart won't buy it. But if there's nothing shaking come this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and